What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dahna?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dahna participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dahna then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Do?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dahna.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shionne. We can't have a bunch of Dahnans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Dahnans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just... unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dahna, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. We don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration, to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shionne. I'm sure we will.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dahna.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Your lordship! Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dahna during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah, What about down on Dahna during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time. Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dahna competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really...
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent. Which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth. That Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah. That one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dahna? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shionne, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Dahnan. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered, until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dahna, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it! I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Dahnan city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dahna.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Cannabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Dahnans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
A little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dahna, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alphen and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Yeah!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What? Mm-hmm.
Ganabelt was so horrible to me. People. Get here. He was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Dahnans?
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed. The effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
ridiculous. Okay.
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Gannett Harrows changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Dahnan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shionne and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current Sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfricht Milgras, the former Lord of Cyslodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfricht whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming Sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the Sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, Sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit...
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renan by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dahna already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Dahnan rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
This place is beautiful!
Yeah. It must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dahna, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagin. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagin. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagin and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagin and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagin had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagin was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Dahnans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shionne's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shionne. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Did we really? Thanks for waiting. Eat as much as you like.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Ho! I am Lord Dohalim of Alphen and Shionne. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed enough. If they want to fight, they got one.
It's going in one burning shot! Meteor storm! By the power of flame!
The enemy wields arc too.
You'll soon see about that! I will do this all day!
Its armor's too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest.
Into the
Armor
shadows!
won't save you! Demon
Not today.
The flame without trace! Burning strike! The magic is on! Burning strike! Blah, blah, blah! Burning strike! Burning stars of light! Rain down and purify all! Meteor storm! Where are you going? Ready! All disasters may
You
come.
made me
Come forth
angry.
to heal its
That was a bad
impurity.
idea.
Not on fire!
Raising you apart!
You're
Air
mine!
thrust! Damn it! Air thrust!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolition! Alphen!
Commander of Heaven.
Magic Cyclone!
Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Magic Advance! Air thrust!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Forgive you! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Free blizzard!
You picked the wrong fight!
These ones can run rings around us! This one's all disasters made one! Come now, son!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah, and the pummeling to me!
Glacial Spear! Here's the evil! I'm on a roll! Free Blazer! Burning Strike!
Down! You're on!
Burning Blade! Here's the evil! Burning Strike! You get the gist! Burning Strike! You get the gist! Burning Strike! Blah, blah, blah!
Their arcs were interrupted!
Chain between... Here goes!
Time to
They
shine!
smite with blackened blade!
Reload! I'm out of ammo! Wanted by Savior! Blah, blah, blah! Burning Strike! Blah, blah, blah!
Lunar arc!
Burning Strike!
I know fine weapon material when I see it.
I won't forgive you!
Armor won't save you!
Spread! Look out! Here's the evil! Blah, blah, blah! As if the normal creatures close out. Blah, blah, blah! Burning! Blah, blah, blah! Burning! You get the gist! Hear my call! Divine Savior! This one's not! The flames will roar! Burning strike!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me, you
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
Hear my call! Shield and
This one's all mine! Eat dirt!
Free Blazer!
It's go time!
Water!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malika! Hurricane Strike!
The flames will roar! I'm on the magic advance! Burning strike! Blah, blah, blah! Burning strike! Oh, sparkling stars of light! Rain down and purify all! Meteor storm! Hurricane strike! The flames will roar! I'm burning it again! Blah, blah, blah! Magic burning water! Hear my call!
Now you see what I can do!
Daddy howling! Eat dirt!
Flood! Hurricane spear! Here's the evil! Freeze Lancer! Maelstrom! All disasters! Blah, blah, blah! Fury! Maelstrom! You get the gist! Maelstrom! By the power of flames! Finish without a trace! The flames will roar! Explosion! The magic is there! Burning strike! You get the gist! Healing circle! Blah, blah, blah! Burning strike! Searing denied!
In a vine?
This one's mine!
The flames will roar!
Eat dirt!
Burning!
Shattering to pieces! Attack time!
Finish without a trace!
Here, let me help!
Reflect on thy sin.
Divine Savior!
Blackened blade!
Flaming meteor! Blah, blah, blah! Burning strike! Magic attack! Burning strike!
Do it! Alphen!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
That'll teach us for getting cocky.
Little help!
Bring him down!
Eagle Ray! Burning strike! Radiant Flare!
Fire in the hole!
I'm the true gunslinger around here. Now you're gonna tick me off!
Stalagmite! Scoot back! Stand back. I'll trip it up. I'll smash you!
You get the jet! Burning strike!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa!
The flames will roar! Burning strike! Fire support! Blah, blah, blah! Burning strike! Oh, sparkling stars of light! Rain down and purify us! Meteor storm! Blah, blah, blah! You get the gist! Mail hero healing! You get the gist! Main struck!
Make it rain! Dohalim!
All yours, Kisara.
By the power of flame! The flames will roar! Burning strike! The magic is there! Burning strike! You get the gist! Burning strike! Hurricane strike! One more!
This one's mine!
You get the gist!
I'm ready!
Ready and Shionne!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Hey, I'm pretty lucky. Retreat if you know what's good for you.
You got your stream!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free.
Burning strike!
This one's
Is it too late to talk over our differences?
You get burning blah, blah, blah. Chain between you get the jet. Divine annihilation! By the power of the
I'm ready!
Kisara, frozen!
Hammer!
Water, hear my
take
call!
it?
The magic is there! Burning strike! You get the jet. Burning strike! Laser! You get the jet. Burning strike! You get the jet. Air drop! You get the jet. Air drop!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa!
Blah, blah, blah. That's burning strike! You get the jet. Burning strike!
Quite necessary when creating weapons.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
Out of my way!
The flames will roar! Burning strike! By the power of flame! Burning strike! Going in! Burning strike! I think I'll pass on the handle!
Negative J.
Divine!
Now you see what I can do!
I'll heal you all!
Bloody howling!
Here goes! The flames will roar! Burning strike! The magic is there! Burning strike! You get the jet! Burning strike! A chain between heaven and earth! You get the jet!
No dawn shall
Divine
break this
savior!
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop you!
Blah, blah, blah! Burning inferno! Piercing heart! Free flame!
This one's all mine.
Hurricane strike!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa!
Radiant pierce!
Shattering of pieces!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil! Burning strike! You get the jet! Burning strike! Roar beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee! Shooting star! Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Reflect on thy sin.
Free flames will roar! Burning strike! Blah, blah, blah! That's burning strike! A chain between heaven and earth! Piercing roar! lightning!
Demon Blast!
Divine Savior! Blah blah blah! Burning strike! Here I go! You get the gist. Burning strike!
Look sharp!
This one's mine!
Annihilation!
I can carve through armor!
Hear me! The flames will roar! Burning strike! Blah blah blah! Burning strike! Blah blah blah! Burning strike! A chain between heaven and earth. A wailing dancing of lightning!
Denied!
Hear my call! The flames will roar! Burning strike! The magic is there! Burning strike! Dark evil! Dark evil! I call Longplay!
This one's all mine!
Dance on the wind!
No more playing nice!
Smite with glacial blade!
Pierce evil!
You picked the wrong fight!
The flames will roar! Burning! Blah blah blah! Magic! Burning!
Anything in armor is all mine! On your knees!
Divine Savior!
Air pressure!
Annihilation!
Rending you apart!
Burning! All disaster! Come forth and heal its purity!
Now you see what I can do!
Appears the end
Make
is
it
nigh.
rain! All yours, Kisara!
We may be a touch beyond our depth.
We barely got a look at the thing.
Inside me, fury! To be let free!
No
ground shall break this night. On your knees.
It's like trying to keep up with a
You
wall.
made me angry. That was a bad idea.
Stalagmite.
Divine Savior! Hurricane Blood! Damn it! Lightning condemned! Annihilation! Lightning condemned! Thunderblade! Thunderblade! Will this help? The flames will roar! Burning strike! The magic is there! Burning strike!
Take this!
Blah, blah, blah. Burning! You get the gist. Burning! You get the gist. Burn out!
No
How about this? The flames will roar! Out! Flaming meteor! Close one! Time to shine! The flames will roar! Burning! The close one! Annihilate! The magic is there! Burning! Blah, blah, blah! Burning! Explosion! Burning! Chain between heaven and earth! Lightning! Burning! Magic is there! You get the gist. Thunderblade! You get the gist. I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar! I feel the power flowing through me.
You'll be able to help even more people now.
Yeah, I guess I will. I won't forgive you! Not on my healing bloody howling! Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
That makes me the thorn on my side.
Divine King! One more! This one's mine! Elusive deity! Thunder Panning! Fury! Burning! Strike! Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Now you've
That's
got
my
to
cue.
pick me off!
Shut him down!
You get the jet.
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare to Malisa!
The magic is there! You get the jet. You get the jet. Blah, blah, blah. Meteor! I can do this all day! The flare roar! Burning strike! Resonate with the earth! You get the gist! A chain between heaven and earth! You get the gist! Divine danger! Blah, blah, blah! Do it! Holy land!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy glimmer! Holy land! Illuminate the... Freeze lantern! Holy land! Blah, blah, blah! Magic! Burning strike! Elusive deity! You get the gist! Burning strike! I'm all stopped up! Annihilation! The flames will roar! Burning strike! The magic is there! Burning strike! You get the gist! Burning strike! Burning strike! All disasters made one! Come forth and healings of purity!
Make it rain!
Nail strike! Downfall!
These bad guys really don't mess around.
Little help! Magic is there! If you won't bow out nice, then you leave me no choice! Rain down and meteor storm! Divine savior! The magic is there! You get the gist! Blah, blah, blah! All just you get the gist! Oh, you get the gist! Meteor storm! I can't heal you forever! Magic is there! Burning! You get the gist! Burning! You get the gist! Burning!
Mission! We're not finished!
Water! Magic is there! Burning! You get the gist! Burning! You get the gist! Burning! A chain between you get the gist! Blah, blah, blah! That's burning! Blah, blah, blah! Burning! Blah, blah, blah! Burning! Fire the darkest sky! I call upon thee!
Radiant Will!
More where that came from!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa!
The flames will roar! Burning strike! Blah blah blah! Burning strike! Blah blah blah! Burning strike! You get the gist! You get the gist! Holy land! Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy glimmer! Holy land!
This one's mine! Inferno crossing! I need to be stronger.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Dahnan. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for. Let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dahna. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shionne.
It was Naori. Naori Imeris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shionne. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Dahnan astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dahna's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shionne, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dahna from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dahna or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when...
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control noodles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
What the... Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zugals, then we get some answers.
It's
one's mine!
Air thrust! Appreciate the help! Air thrust! Air thrust! Here's evil!
And this one's mine!
Freeze laser! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Dance in the wind!
That could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
A chain between heaven and earth. Blah, blah, blah. Going in. Explosion! Burning thrust!
It's on!
Air thrust! Blah, blah, blah. Air thrust! You get the drift. Air thrust!
They smite!
I can carve through armor!
Air thrust! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Magic is there! Air thrust! Enemies immobilized!
I need something.
You need to be healed.
Well, the mighty have fallen.
Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
This one's all mine!
Out into the fray! Hammy, flame of fury!
Burn!
Air thrust! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Blah, blah, blah! Air thrust! Here's the you get it.
Ready and ready!
Armor won't save you!
Another incantation ruined.
How about this? Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Dance in flame! Air thrust!
Down! You're all
Let me help. Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Blah, blah, blah! Air thrust! A chain between heaven and earth! Blah, blah, blah! Divine savior! Burning strike! Glacial spear! Blah, blah, blah! Air thrust!
air pressure! Rending you up!
I'm ready!
Law! I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life!
Dance in the wind! Dance in the wind!
This one's mine!
I can carve through armor!
Air thrust! Air thrust! Blah, blah, blah! Divine savior! Explosion! Burning thrust! You get the gist. Air thrust! You get the gist. Air thrust! Blah, blah, blah! Air thrust! I'm sorry.
I couldn't make it in time.
Inferno crossing! Imbue this vanquish! This one's all mine! Burn in hell!
I've still got some fight left in me.
Heal! Appreciate the help!
Air thrust! Dance in the wind! Air! I'm sorry. Here's evil.
How about this?
No art is being interrupted.
I'll bring you back from... I've still got some fight left in me. Resuscitation! I'll heal you all! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! A chain between heaven and earth. A wind! To bring you back from death to divine!
Burn in hell!
I can carve through armor!
Air thrust! You could... Air thrust! Blah, blah, blah. Divine savior! Finish without a trace!
Execution!
Blah, blah, blah. Air thrust! Ready! Burning thrust! Glacial spear! You get the gist. Shooting star! By the power of dance in the wind! Without a trace!
Flame inside me! Sure! Be let free!
This is my fault.
Magic is there! Air thrust! Far beyond
One
the
final
darkest
push.
sky. Let's finish this off!
I'll do my best not to disappoint.
Resuscitation!
Take dance in the wind! I'm only getting one! Air thrust! Dance in the wind! By the air thrust! Blah, blah, blah! Air thrust! A chain between heaven and earth. You get the gist. Divine freedom! I'll heal you all! Healing circle!
I owe you one for that.
Sorry to talk.
For me, it's my pain.
Dance in the wind! It's all air thrust! Dance in the wind! I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar! Here's a healing art! Piercing roar! Thanks so much! Dance in the wind! Close one! By the power of flame! Finish without
I
I can carve through armor! Not today! I'm gone!
Air thrust! Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
The enemy's over!
Air thrust! Chain between heaven and earth! You get the dead water! Hear my divine savior!
No further!
Blood! Burning! Dance in the wind!
Air pressure!
This one's mine! Air thrust! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Magic is there! Air thrust! Far beyond the darkest sky!
Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone! Now it's just her! Varia, can you hear me? Varia!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shionne, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shionne.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
All did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.